What's going on, brother?
Bro,
It's been a minute.
A minute? What, about 4 months?
Months, been months.
3 months, 4 months?
Yeah, a lot of stuff going on since then.
Yeah, I'd say that. Yeah, that's an understatement.
Yeah.
Obviously, some of what we're going to get into, some we will absolutely not.
How's
much as I want to.
How's the family been with all this stuff? I know we talk about it regularly, but just so
I think,
our 5 viewers can hear.
Everybody's
safe.
Well, yeah, I mean, everybody's healthy. I mean, as you know, both families so far up to this point, it's almost like walking through a minefield of, with everything with the virus itself, and going from not knowing anybody that has it to now knowing a ton of people that have had it.
Right.
Both within our job and outside
Right.
in personal life and stuff. So now it's starting to be like, how many months can you go without actually getting it?
Right.
Because it becomes it's damn near impossible.
It often feels like it's a matter of when and not if.
Yeah, and that concerns me.
Especially in our job.
Yeah, that concerns me. Especially, and I know it was compared to the flu and all that other stuff. And me personally, I don't get the flu vaccine. I don't think I've ever gotten it in my life, and I've only had it like once,
right,
a couple years back. So, you can do that without getting it. And then I finally did get it, and boy, let me tell you, I thought I was on my deathbed when I had it.
Yeah.
It was horrible. So if this thing's anything like that, well, I know some people asymptomatic get nothing.
Right.
Some people die within 3 days. So I really don't know.
And I also think that we're seeing a shift in the attitudes of people, because remember when it first came out, like, oh, you'll just get a cold, it's fine, and then you're well, no, when you're starting to see people that you know personally that are getting it, and they're having different reactions with it.
Yeah.
It's definitely not something to play with. What I've always said is that generally speaking, and there are exceptions, but I still believe that generally speaking, those who take care of themselves always, who work out always, who eat right, get their vitamins, get their subs, sleep, sleep right. Generally speaking, they do pretty well with this.
Yes.
They don't.
Yeah, at least that's the belief, because it seems to be every day something new
and
comes.
Speaking from people that we know personally,
that
are always in shape and they've been fine. And again, and I don't want to disrespect or be insensitive to anybody who knows otherwise. But so that's what I'm saying. Generally speaking, that's been the case. So I wish that the media would kind of put out more of that kind of information. Like, look, yes, this can be bad, but also, for the most part, if you're taking care of yourself, like, let's use this as a wake-up call. Get your sleep, get your exercise, get your cardio, take care of your heart and your lungs. Again, take your vitamins, all that kind of stuff. I wish they would pump that out more instead of just trying to drive fear to everybody. But
fear's what gets clicks.
We know better.
You know how that works. They can't do feel-good stories, and they can't do anything like that because it doesn't help their agenda.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
But this is something that obviously has affected everybody. Because even if you don't have it, I mean, I haven't seen my parents. We haven't, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's another thing too. Family, friends. Basic stuff is, we know, the whole gym and back and forth with that stuff, which we'll get into.
Our kids and sports and activities
school
and
everything
the zoo
else. And you can't just go. And the thing is, you can't go anywhere. It's worldwide, so you can't just, we're going to escape it and go to LA, or we're going to go somewhere. You can't go anywhere.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been I don't know, man. I don't know.
It's really, remember I said the other day, if you told me in 2022 everything will be back to normal, I'd be happily optimistic, because, and that's 2 years from now, because it's been, now listen again, and I always, I told you when this thing started in March, I told the kids, listen, I don't want to hear complaining, stuck at home and all that kind of stuff. We're blessed to have a home. Okay. And there's so many people being affected by this thing. But for us, who've been very fortunate that no one in our family has gotten and all that stuff, like I said, we're missing time spent and valuable time, and because we can very well, let's keep it real, you and I could have had it already, we don't even know.
It's possible.
And could have been asymptomatic, like people that we know personally.
It's possible.
And the concern is being around our parents, and if you have grandparents, being around your grandparents and that kind of stuff. And so that's where you have to, it's scary, man, because you don't know what you can do, what you can't do.
Yeah, that's the one thing you don't want to do. I'm always definitely afraid to bring it back to my parents or something
Of
like
course.
that, because they're the ones that would be more susceptible to any long-term or, even death. I mean, it's just insane because it seems to be, obviously, I know it isn't just the older people, but they are the ones that are the most vulnerable.
Right,
So
right.
I don't want to do that. And obviously, I don't want to bring it home to my own family.
Yeah.
Even if they were just fine with it, I don't want to anyway. You just don't know the type of reaction you're going to get.
Exactly. And we won't get into the conspiracy theories and the politics of it all and who really knows what's going on.
No.
But there are, reports where you read that, look, yes, the positive cases have gone way up because more people are getting tested and we started to go back to work and, well, we never stopped going to work and, but
Right.
most people started going back to work and going back to the gym. And so the cases are going up, but the deaths apparently are way down.
Which is good, but I also think that's at least my opinion. I think the reason is because a lot more younger people are getting it.
Oh, yeah.
And
so-
also, I will say
exactly.
to that point, and you're right, people are starting to go back to work and stuff like that. But the big reason, and we live in South Florida, and I've always said this, I've said this a million times, people in South Florida wipe their ass with what they're fucking told to do.
They don't care.
They don't give a shit.
They don't care.
And you see it as soon as they crack open the beaches, everybody flocks in like this.
How
When
would
they
the
go to
beaches
bars,
have been if they were
flock in.
open July 4th?
Oh my God, bro.
People don't
But
care.
and that's what I'm saying. So, yeah, that's a big reason.
Yeah.
We're not going to get into the whole reasoning of it, but I don't care what they say. I guarantee you people spread through protesting and the riots and all that junk. Of course they did.
Of course.
That stuff too. I mean, that's, I know why they're doing it, but that contributed to it, even though they say that's not true. That's bullshit. And, they had to close the bars because nobody was really social distancing. You've seen it. I just saw it this past weekend at the grocery store. People were just like, it was like 2 days before 4th of July, and people could give a shit. I saw them in clusters of 30, 40 people, and the place was jam-packed.
In the supermarket?
Yep, no one gave a fuck. Some
please.
people without masks.
Please.
I don't want to backhand them for it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this is
I went the other day, and I like my personal space at all times, and people have no regard for nothing. And
No, so this
and
is
going
why-
back to, and like we said, we're not going to go into it, but even, so we had the riots, and we had what's going on in this country, and we're not going to say anything that may get us in trouble or may not. But even that I've told you about, like these pro-police rallies, like, I'm all for it. I'm not going, dude. It's a big crowd for what?
Yeah. A lot of the stuff right now,
It's just unnecessary, man. I mean, there are things. Fortunately, look, like we discussed the other day. I was out in the Harley a lot, especially when this thing started, because that's something you can do socially. I mean, I would meet up my boys, and I wouldn't even get down. We'd meet at somewhere and from far away. What's up, guys?
that's
All right, we're going. And
certain things you can get away with. I get it.
But it's.
But look, perfect example. 4th of July comes, right? Mm-hmm. So normally we get together either with my parents, her parents, barbecue,
of course,
fireworks, all that. No, there's none of that this year. I mean, I had a good time with my own family, but it was just us. We had a small little thing of fireworks that we lit by ourselves. Yeah. Which, by the way, the neighborhood was, and we did sit it in front of empty. When normally you hear it all night, nothing.
Right.
So everything is just completely discombobulated. I've said that this is going to go at least through 2021 into 2022.
I was just about to say,
and it sucks because I've had to cancel the cruise this year, cancel any of our
how's
vacations.
How's Christmas going to be, man? That's my favorite.
Yeah,
and we usually
you guys have the big party.
We do the Christmas Eve at our house, and that's I don't see it.
That's what I'm saying. That we were going to see family in New Jersey and New York in November. Obviously, we booked these tickets. You're talking the flight back in January when there was no pandemic.
Right.
So we just recently, I think this past week, we just canceled those. So that's gone. That's it. Like, there's nothing else. I mean, the year's shot when it comes to that stuff. Now, don't get me wrong.
That's why I'm saying happily optimistic for 2022.
Yeah, because I don't see
this doesn't feel like it's going to end anytime soon.
Well, unless they get some type of, and I know they need a vaccine and all that, but even still, once you got to get it to where you have some type of antibody that will kill it once you have it.
Right.
That's great that we can prevent it, but what about all the people that have it and continue to get it? Because obviously it's ultra contagious. I mean, however that's being, but that type of stuff. Until that's done, we're living with masks and everything else. Until this is done, we're always going to be like this. Until then, I'm not saying it's going to be 5 years from now, but I'm just saying it just. I don't know how far this can go.
But that's why I say happily optimistic. If you told me 2022, because at times it feels like we're never going to go back to normal. I want to go to a
It
ball
does,
game.
I agree with you, and it
just,
does feel like that, but we will. It'll never be like this forever.
you know, and